The threat of national default is receding as we get closer to a final deal. And even though we may have avoided the worst here, investors and voters, they want to know who's responsible for bringing us to the brink in the first place. Well, the blame is centering on none other than the Tea Party.
It's time for my Republican friends to defy your Tea Party overlords.
He has essentially surrendered control of the House, surrendered that gavel, to the far-right Tea Party wing of his party.
This is the Tea Party government shutdown.
And you know, it's not just Democrats pointing the finger.
We can't allow a small minority of a party to hijack it and, again, cause catastrophic problems, not just for our party, that's our problem, but for the country. There's 800,000 people out of work because of 30 or 40 people.
Well, the man who stands to lose the most from the Tea Party's extreme tactics is John Boehner, who's been accused of losing control of his caucus. Bloomberg View columnist Margaret Carlson has some advice for the speaker. Shut down the Tea Party once and for all, and she joins us right now. Hi, Margaret.
Hey, how are you, Trish?
I'm good. I'm good. Would you say the Republican Party right now is really at risk of becoming irrelevant thanks to the Tea Party?
You know, Speaker Boehner is not listening to me. You know, the Republicans have to somehow find a way to death with dignity to declare some kind of victory. After all, the president said nobody won here, even though somebody did win here, and it wasn't Boehner's right-wing caucus that won. Can Boehner learn from this and do something else? I don't know. He probably needs these 30 to 40 people, but now that they've, you know, lost so publicly and so big, they could be chastened and, like children, not ask for the third hot fudge sundae because they know it's going to make them sick.
You know, I mean, there's been so much frustration, I think, among both parties with the Tea Party because the feeling is that the Tea Party just kind of held everything hostage and everyone hostage, and they're getting blamed for bringing us to the brink. You know, how do you get them out of the equation, though, right now? I mean, you think about all the redistricting, Margaret, that's happened and all the power that they hold as a result of that.
You know, what's done is done until we have another census, another redistricting, and maybe Democrats will be in control. But, you know, neither party does that well or fairly. So we are stuck with these gerrymandered districts. When you look at those districts, you say these 30 to 40 congressmen are behaving rationally because this is what the majority in their district want. However, that doesn't mean that Speaker Boehner is behaving rationally because this is a small fraction of his caucus. So, you know, he should be able to discipline them. If I were the Democrats, by the way, after listening to Peter King and some others, I would be very quiet right now. No gloating, no, piling on. Just let Republicans criticize each other. You know, Governor Bobby Jindal said a few months ago, it's the stupid party. Well, the party behaves stupidly, and they know who led them to it. So let's see those people be pushed aside in favor of, you know, the other people. They may not be smart, but they're not as stupid.
But if they want to have a shot, realistically, at 2016, doesn't it mean getting control of the party, having someone that really can show the leadership to keep everybody sort of together? I mean, you think back to the last time we had a big government shutdown, and you had Newt Gingrich, and he at least was able to sort of corral everyone and rally the troops and get people on board. Where is that today in the Republican Party?
So, Trish, you and I were at the convention together, and it doesn't come across as a party that thinks it's going to win national elections. They are playing a much smaller game, and look what's happened over the last year. They let immigration reform go. They didn't answer the budget that was put out there by the Senate. They act out everything instead of, say, planning what will work here. They just Senator Ted Cruz goes out, he filibusters, he has basically one or two people on his side, Senator Lee, Senator Rubio, and they run the party for 3 weeks, and look where you are. So if they wanted to win nationally, they would look at what Governor Christie is doing in New Jersey. You remember he said, I'd kill myself if I were in Washington? I think a lot of Republicans feel that way now. But they don't want to go the way of Governor Christie. They want to go the way of their Tea Party activists, or so it it looks over the last month.
You know, Margaret, economist Carl Riccadonna on set with us here, and he had a question for you. Carl.
Sure. Margaret, my question is looking not only to 2016, but what about the 2014 midterm elections? I mean, the polling has definitely skewed in one direction here. What are your thoughts, with potentially, I know the Republicans were thinking maybe they'd gain seats in the Senate or increase their margin in the House. Now, based on the polls since the shutdown began, it appears to be drifting in the other direction.
You know, because of the gerrymandering that Trish brought up, they'll keep their majority in the House. How much, I don't think they're going to gain much in the House. But they had a chance at 5 to 6 seats in the Senate. Some people were giving them. I think that's probably way, way down after this, because when you look at the polls and you look at generics, would you vote for a Democrat or a Senate or a Republican in this seat? You can see where that generic, we don't want Republicans, is way up.